Okay, I think we were having some technical difficulties, but I think we might be back up.
Are we back?
I'm going to give it just a second so I can confirm that. Yikes. Going live is hard, you guys, because a lot of times the internet just goes down for no reason. And unfortunately, that's just part of it. So if you're watching the podcast, I'm still assuming that it's coming back up. Then I thank you for sticking around for the first part. Just like totally, our wireless internet just like totally dropped out.
Burp.
Yeah, I think it's going. Don't hit that one. Oh yeah. So
yeah,
it is going. Okay,
good.
great. So we now know on our end that it's going. So anyways,
Yeah, we're back.
thanks for sticking around. I'm so sorry about that. So we're doing Bundy the podcast live, and as always, there's technical difficulties happen. We're here with Don't Ask What Kind of Music. Cooper, how are you?
I'm good.
Take two.
We're back.
Yeah.
Take two.
So for people who didn't catch that last part, so tell us about your music project.
Yeah. So just lately I've been doing a lot of writing and rehearsing. Like I said, just kind of in the studio. Kind of right now it's pretty discovery phase because I'm just kind of exploring a lot of different sounds. That's kind of the reason for the name Don't Ask What Kind of Music is because I really can't make up my mind on one specific sound, and I just kind of like to explore whatever I'm feeling that day.
What are your influences for your music though?
So I've got seriously just as much equal parts like ambient music from Brian Eno as I'm into hardcore music.
Brian Eno?
Yeah, I'm a big fan of Brian Eno.
So actually, it's funny that I'm sorry to interrupt.
No, it's
but Brian Eno worked with a guy named Harold Budd.
Yeah,
and Harold Budd also is an ambient music artist.
Yes, I have a cassette.
Which I love because I remember listening to an album that he did called Wind Through Lonely Fences.
Okay.
And it was basically just this synth that went for like 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Literally just
like
for 10 minutes. But it was ambient and beautiful.
Yeah.
And so I listened to it in my car as I was driving at night one night. And
That's the way to do
it was a beautiful moment. It was
Yeah.
a beautiful moment. So Harold Budd, Brian Eno.
Yeah, like I love the ambient music. I mean, my ultimate goal is to have an album that goes from headbanging to ambient, like over somehow in a cohesive way. So like I really have so much appreciation for all these different styles, and I'm dumb enough to try to like fuse them all together and see what I can do with that.
So you're an electronic artist.
Pretty much.
Would you say
electronic is it's what I've come to because it's a little difficult for me to work with bands, it seems like.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wait, what do you mean? You've been in bands before?
I've been in some bands before. I've worked with some people. It's kind of a lot of work for me to manage it, to work with people. I think maybe I'm sometimes unintentionally like a little bit of a jerk.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Is it an ego thing? What is it?
I don't know if it's an ego thing. I mean, there's some of that in there. Sometimes I notice myself being kind of rude and without even trying. Like I don't know how to explain it. It's kind of a bummer, but it just happens. Like when I'm in the moment trying to write, trying to practice stuff, like I think I push people away sometimes.
Why? I want to know why.
I mean, one thing I know, I didn't even realize it was serious at the time, but just kind of rejecting someone else's ideas and then later really understanding that actually bothered them.
Yeah.
And me not really thinking that would even matter in the moment.
Yeah.
Because I'm the kind of person that's like I think I'm right about something and I'll, I mean, in retrospect, I can see more clearly.
Yeah. It's a growth process.
Yeah.
I feel like, I've talked to a lot of bands on the podcast, and an unfortunate part of being a musician is when you're writing music, it's so much of yourself. It's so much of like where you came from and your heart and all these emotions and stuff. And when you get a group of people together, I think it can be really hard to separate yourself from the idea that these people are contributing to my music, not detracting from my idea.
Yeah.
But maybe at the same time, those people don't exactly know where you're coming from with the idea.
Yeah. And that's the thing. Like, I do recognize, again, a lot of times in retrospect, how much people can contribute. And I'm really open to trying to work with people again. I always am down to work with people. I would even love to kind of have my project be sort of like open revolving door band for people to come play shows when they want to. Don't show up when you don't want to, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm pretty open to that. Like, to me, I think of it as it could be as big or as little as it needs to be, depending on the show or the night. Or
Okay.
yeah.
Do you collaborate when you write music?
Well, so the last project I did, it started as very individualistic and got to a point of no return, and I was like, I can't get any input or anything on this one. I'm just going to finish this by myself. Like, it became this very, like, the individual thing, like an individual project. And so I made that a point. But now I'm very open to collaborating. And from now on, like, I limited myself with the amount of instruments that I use, and I limited myself with the amount of people that worked on it. And, I mean, I made the album art, I did the mixing, recording, everything myself. And honestly, the big lesson there was that it wasn't that much more rewarding to do it all by myself. It really kind of was a little lonely.
Yeah.
So,
because, you know, man, whenever I do music, whenever I try to write music, I always try to run it through like a band filter. I always say, like, I've said this 100 times on my podcast, like, I can write a song, I can write an idea for a song, but when it comes to fleshing out the idea, I need the back and forth, you know? I need the guys to be in the room with me or whatever. Mm-hmm. And when I meet someone, like, I remember Modus Music, he was telling me that when he writes with his roommate, but they hardly ever see each other, they just kind of like throw an idea back and forth over email or whatever, and they work it out. And I think that's really cool to be able to do that. Yeah. But for me, I have to be in a room with someone. I have to like feel their vibe, you know? Yeah. Yeah.
And there's like, I recognize this, like, the huge value to having even just one person just say one little comment. It can just like, it can turn something around. And,
Totally.
And I've noticed that, like, I've called my friend and said, hey, can you come? I'm at a rehearsal space. Can you come check out my performance and tell me what you think? And he's completely, like, it helped me a lot that one night. So, like, since then, like, the big lesson from the last thing I recorded was that I need as much help as I can get, and I'm, like, way more open to help. And, like,
okay. Well, how did you get into the electronic music?
So that mainly came from probably my struggling with working with bands, and then I decided, well, if it's a little bit of a struggle for me to work with people, let's find out how I can do it all by myself, kind of thing. So I learned Logic.
Okay.
Copped a couple synths and samplers here and there.
Yeah.
And that's, I mean, it really came out of necessity of just, I need to keep making things, and I don't really have people to help me with that right now.
Where did you start? What instrument did you start on?
Guitar.
Yeah. Okay. So when you got your first synth, was it like a hard curve to learn? Because I'm a guitar player.
Yeah.
And I got my first synth. It was a mono synth, a Korg mono synth. Mono. What's it called? A mono something. And it was really hard. It's still really hard. I'm trying to learn all the knobs. There's so many fucking knobs, and each little knob changes things so much. And so, how hard was the learning curve for you?
Well, the crazy thing is, as soon as I picked up the keyboard, I got 10 times faster than I've ever been or 10 times better than I've ever been at guitar. Way faster. It was like that was the instrument I should have been playing. So surprisingly, there was the opposite of a learning curve. Like, it was more natural to me even after years of playing guitar.
Okay. That's cool.
It was good. It was meant to be.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
So you put out a bunch of music, and I saw a music video that you did, which I fucking loved, where you're at like a park. I think you're at a bus stop or something, and you're just dancing and singing with a microphone with your laptop playing in the background. I thought that was such a great idea, because I think a lot of people, they think that they have to make this big production of a music video and it costs all this money. And there is something to that, to like be able to have the resources and the production behind you. But to do something as simple as to be at a bus stop and to have so much steez, so much style. Yeah. That was really cool that you did that.
I appreciate that. Thank you. That's on YouTube. It's called The Power's Out. It's a track that I worked on. And it kind of starts as just me making videos of myself so I can see how my performance looks. It's kind of like notes, But then I looked at it and I was like, that looks pretty cool. I'll mix it down and upload it, right? And it's also, again, a lot of it's necessity. Like, I don't have a lot of time. That's immediately after work. I drive straight there from work. I got my laptop. I go and set it up. I get even nervous when I do that. I'm like shaking. I'm looking around.
There was some parts in the video where I noticed that you would like look to the side, like, is there someone walking up right now?
Yeah, there could be someone driving by. That happens a lot.
Yeah.
I really like that. Like, I like to do things like that in semi-public or in public places. And I mean, I've made a lot more videos than I even end up uploading because sometimes they don't turn out. But there's cool things, you know, like sometimes people in the background staring at me, like kind of like confused. What's he doing?
Yeah. Like, what are you doing at this bus stop, dude?
Yeah.
You weirdo.
Yeah. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's fun. And a big thing that I want people to take away from whatever I do is that you don't need a big team or anything to do whatever you want.
Dude, that's like 2019 in a nutshell.
Yeah.
Like, I think so many bands, and there is something to like having a team behind you and stuff. You know, obviously you can, if you have someone behind you to help you like get press and all that stuff, that's really important. But at the same time, like to be able to just go out there and do it yourself, that's a big thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And you know, I remember I saw this music video from a band called Broncho. Have you heard of a band called Broncho?
Oh yeah, yeah.
And they have a video. It's called like it's like "Take Me Out Sometime," and they go to a liquor store and they just walk in with their instruments. It's not even like amped or anything, and they're just in this liquor store like rocking out.
That's what's up.
And then they get kicked out in the middle of the music video. I don't know if it was literally a guerrilla music video. They might have like rehearsed that or whatever.
Yeah.
But it looked really fucking cool. Because they just walked in, got kicked out, and it was awesome,
Yeah.
And I think that's really cool of 2019 musicians to say, fuck the record label, fuck having all this shit. I'm just gonna create.
Yeah.
And I think that's really awesome.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the thing is like, I mean, I want to give 100% with everything I do, but at the same time, we have to be rapidly producing content.
Yeah.
And it's pretty sad to me to see someone really like put months and months into something that, I mean, essentially like maybe gets viewed by like 100 people.
How do you feel about the whole Instagram? Like you need to have a brand new photo, a brand new content every day kind of scenario.
It's true.
It is true.
I mean, it's true.
Yeah.
But at the same time, my thing is you only need to do that if you want Instagram fame,
Well, I will say like, there's so many bands out. There's so many musicians nowadays that it's really hard to capture attention.
Yeah.
And you almost need to like pound your fists against the waves.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, it's hilarious to me when I hear people say, I don't want to annoy people by posting too much.
Yeah.
I'm like, bro, if you're annoying people,
Yeah.
if you're 1 out of 5,000 images they saw that day is annoying them, you don't need them and it doesn't matter.
Like I like to compare it to like Coca-Cola, the way they advertise. It's like wherever you go, you're going to see a Coca-Cola bottle on, like at Jack in the Box or wherever. You're going to see it on the side of a wall. Musicians, small musicians, we don't necessarily have that that channel where we can be.
No.
And so when you go on Instagram, it's like we have to post every day so that you don't forget about us.
Totally.
It's super weird, though.
Yeah. I admire people who can repost their music over and over and keep saying, check this out. To me, I'm like, I post it once. And again, I even get that feeling. But again, I squash that feeling within myself. Like, don't feel like you're annoying people. They probably didn't even notice.
Yeah.
Like, it's way more likely that people didn't notice what you posted than you annoyed them. Like, even if you're posting 10 times a day. Like,
yeah.
Right.
But at the same time, it's like, it's super hard to have like a brand new image every day, like a brand new picture every day to capture someone's attention. And not only does it have to be like a good picture, but then you have to have like a story behind it and all this stuff. It's really difficult. And I value these Instagram people who literally have a photo every day.
Yeah.
And not only is it a photo every day, but like it's like curated. It's like so professionally done.
Totally.
I don't know how they do it. It's amazing.
I like Instagram as its own entity, and I like Instagrammers and what they do. Even people who just take selfies every day. If they do it right, they do it right. And I like it.
Yeah. It's really good.
Yeah.
So, what are you planning to do with all the music that you have out now? Like you're playing venues and stuff like that. I'm sure that you've made a lot of connections musically,
Yeah, like what little I've done, I meet really cool people in Santa Ana, in Long Beach.
Yeah. Where are you from?
Huntington Beach.
Huntington Beach, okay.
Yeah, Orange County.
Yeah, so Long Beach isn't like your hometown or anything. I'm only asking because this is like a very Long Beach-centric podcast.
I love Long Beach, though.
Yeah, Long Beach is great.
Yeah.
It's a very, I wouldn't say welcoming, because there's a lot of like pockets of people who are a little,
Yeah.
what's the word? Too cool
Clicky?
or something? Clicky, yeah.
Clicky?
But I will say there's a lot of great venues here.
Oh, yeah.
And so when bands from out of town come here, like I'm just like, what's up, dude? Let's hang out,
Yeah.
So what is your experience playing from Huntington Beach and then like trying to spread out?
I mean, it's kind of necessary. I mean, there's not too many really cool places in Huntington Beach. There's a lot more cool places in Long Beach or Santa Ana.
Well, Huntington Beach is Surf City, dude.
It's Surf City, yeah.
There's like all the cool, dude. I remember going to Surf City, Huntington Beach to play a show at some Irish bar.
Oh yeah.
And at the time, I was in a bluegrass band, and parking was like $10, and there were so many, like, just trying to get to the parking lot. There was so many like hot girls in bikinis and like hot dudes with like their short shorts and like surfer bros and stuff.
True. Yeah.
And I'm just like, I'm the ugly motherfucking emo boy that's trying to come into your town and play some fucking music.
That's wild.
But then Long Beach, I feel like it's eclectic.
Yeah.
It's eclectic in nature.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of why I'm more drawn to that, and also Santa Ana. Santa Ana is really cool. I mean, I like both of those places because they're more eclectic. Like you said, Huntington is.
I love Santa Ana. They have they have a very diverse music scene there.
Yeah.
And I feel like Santa Ana is like Long Beach 5 years behind, but in a good way. You know what I mean? Where like Long Beach, it's like we kind of know that it's like the cool place to play in our area.
Yeah.
And I feel like Santa Ana is like, it's cool to play there, but it's only cool because you're down. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, Long Beach, cool hip hop scene. Stuff like that.
Yeah, yeah.
Really, I like hip hop.
Yeah. What kind of hip hop you like?
Well, I mean, I like the classics, of course. I like
Tupac.
I'm a big fan of Wu-Tang. Actually, probably my favorite is Cypress Hill.
Okay.
I go crazy for Black Sunday, their album.
Yeah.
I listen to that thing on repeat. Like,
classic shit.
I have a CD in my car, actually.
Yeah.
On repeat.
I heard you bumping it when you no, I didn't really. What are some modern groups that you love?
I mean, I love Brockhampton. Brockhampton is awesome. I don't know if you checked them out, but they're probably the most exciting thing happening in hip hop right now. And they're it seems like they're a little bit on a hiatus right now because they kicked out a member over some abuse allegations.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. And they kicked out an important member too. So.
What was the story behind that?
Something about some ex-girlfriend saying that he was a little manipulative and crazy and
a little manipulative.
Yeah. Well, okay, maybe a lot manipulative.
Okay. Yeah, I was gonna say because like it's 2019.
Yeah.
We all know the culture that we're living in.
Mm-hmm.
It's very toxic. There's if you do one thing wrong, and I don't want to get too into it.
Yeah.
I know it's a sticky subject.
It's a sticky subject.
It is. But I will say this. I think that, and I've talked to many people about this, I think that we are a little too quick to jump on a boat.
Oh, definitely. Where we jump to conclusions.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you remember a few years ago when Aziz Ansari got accused of basically raping a woman?
Yeah. Something about being really pushy.
Yeah, being pushy, but she still slept with him, and there was like, there was a little confusion about whether or not what happened.
Yeah.
And, I feel like he did it very gracefully. He just kind of bowed out, and he was kind of like, I'm sorry, I didn't realize that was going on.
Yeah.
There was a little miscommunication or whatever. Much different than like the Louis C.K. situation where he was just kind of like, I jerked off in front of people and, I'm a fucking creep or whatever. His was kind of like, I went on a date with a woman, and unfortunately we miscommunicated on what was going on.
Yeah. And
I feel like that's very 2019 right now.
That's very 2019.
Yeah.
That we got wild cancel culture.
Yeah, cancel culture is a big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm not completely against it because some people suck.
Yeah.
That's
like
true. Harvey Weinstein.
Yes.
Like that dude sucks.
Right.
Like, and he's been sucking.
Yeah.
And like he's been getting away with it.
Yeah.
And I think that's whack. And if I'm ever on the inside, I'm telling.
Well, I like to say that I would be, but at the same time, if I was presented with like, you're gonna make $20 million, You know what I mean?
I
you just
mean,
have to suck a dick. I'd be like, I might suck that dick.
I mean, yeah. Well,
I don't
but
know.
that's me.
Yeah, I feel like I'm kind of open to sucking a dick. I've never sucked a dick before, but if I did for $20 million,
oh, you should definitely try it.
I might change my mind.
I mean, who needs the money? It's
I
like
do.
worth it.
I do.
That's true.
I'm a broke musician. I'm sure you are too.
Very broke.
Yeah.
Overdrafted this morning.
What do you do for
Yeah.
I don't want to get into where you work or whatever, but like what do you do for money and stuff? Not besides
I do millennial crap, social media for a company.
Okay.
And web design and stuff.
Okay.
So
you're coding and stuff like that.
Yeah, that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
It's pretty.
And being a musician is really hard because you spend so much of your own money on like production and distribution and all that good stuff. And then your day job, you're just trying to like get by.
Trying to get out of there and go work on music like every day.
You know, I got my taxes back and I made less than $30,000 this year. And when I saw that, I was like, yes, I made less than $30,000 because that means I'm just under the cusp of having to pay money. You know what I mean? Like there's brackets.
Yeah, yeah.
So I still get free healthcare.
Yeah.
I could get food stamps if I wanted.
Nice.
It's fucking great.
I tried to get food stamps, and I did. I got like $15. It might have been $30 for like a couple months.
That's nothing.
I know.
That's crazy.
I know. I was like, why did you even give this to me?
Yeah. That's like 2 burritos.
I know. But I was working 2 jobs at the time, and I said, why not? Let's just try.
Well, it's $15 free. How do you feel about... So I remember going to the 7-Eleven. At the 7-Eleven, they had... we accept EBT.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's cool. I can buy like, soups and stuff. And then I realized that you can literally buy Monster energy drinks and chips and all that stuff.
Yeah,
and then Nutrition, yeah. And I remember being in line one time, and this couple, they had an EBT card. And they said to me, what are you getting? I'm like, I'm getting some chips. I'm getting some orange juice or whatever. And they said to me, I'll put it on my EBT card. Give me the cash, and I'll put it on my EBT card. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It was like their little hustle.
I know that game.
You know what I mean?
I know that play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And at the same, at one point, I was kind of like, hey, that's kind of fucked up.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I was like, but kind of fuck the government a little bit.
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
Like you're undermining public trust, but like you said, fuck the government.
Kind of fuck the government. Because, dude, we're getting wagged. We're getting wagged hard. They're shaking their tails at us.
Oh, yeah.
You ever seen the news?
Yeah.
Every day. Yeah. Every day I wake up and some crazy shit's happening.
It's wild. It's wild, and fuck them.
How do you feel?
I feel like angry, and I want to do whatever I can. But again, that's accompanied by some powerlessness.
Yeah.
You know, you feel powerless.
Yeah.
Full-blown Bernie Sanders supporter.
Oh, Bernie?
Straight up say
You're a Bernie guy?
Yeah. I think he has the best chance.
Well, how do you feel about like Elizabeth Warren?
No, I don't think she has a chance.
Why do you say that?
Well, because I mean, for one, I don't think she could hold her own in a debate against Trump. I don't think that would happen. Even I don't think he really does the debates or whatever. If he's already the president, right? But I don't think she would win against Sanders in a debate. I don't know if they would debate each other. I just don't see her as a strong contender.
What about her? I'm just asking. Okay, there's a lot of contestants right now.
Yeah.
Bernie Sanders, I think he's running off of the energy that he had last year, or the last 4 year. So he's got a lot of momentum, and Elizabeth Warren, this is her first year running.
Yeah.
And luckily, sorry, I'm coughing.
Yeah.
Luckily, Hillary's not running this year.
Yeah. Well, hopefully not.
She said officially she's not running.
Okay, good.
Officially she's not running. And I think, she's ran so many times that I think she's realized, like, I don't know if I can do it.
Yeah.
But so it's basically in the Democratic Party, which are you Democratic?
Kind of.
Would you say
that?
I
don't really like
I feel
Democrats.
Like I'm a centrist. I'm not left and I'm not right. I feel like I'm not happy with either side.
Yeah.
And I feel that way because Bernie Sanders is so extreme.
Yeah.
And Elizabeth Warren, she's a powerhouse. But at the same time, I don't really know that much about her.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Like, she hasn't had as strong and consistent of messaging as Bernie has.
Because he was there the last time.
Yeah. And he's been saying his same business since the 80s.
Yeah.
And he's been about it.
Dude, how do you feel about AOC?
AOC, you know? Oh, man. This piss people off, man. They're so triggered by her. They are.
The conservatives.
The conservatives
Sure,
are very triggered
yeah.
by her. I like her. I mean,
I think
she's wild.
she's like, not that she would, I'm a fucking piece of shit, but like that girl, that woman, she's a woman to me. When I see her on TV and she's all powerful and shit, I'm like, God damn, I want to meet a woman like her.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because she's so powerful and she means what she says.
Mm-hmm.
And you know, some of the things that she does is a little extreme liberal.
Well, yeah. I mean,
but at
the
the
Green
same-
New Deal, but
Yeah, but at the same time, like she's pretty badass.
it's totally badass.
Yeah.
I mean, they wouldn't be so pissed off about her if she wasn't a little badass.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
it's insane. She's not the dumbest person in Congress or whatever at all. And they treat, like, conservatives act like she is the dumbest person on the planet.
Yeah.
And that's just not the case.
Let me ask you a question though.
Yeah.
Why do you think so conservatives obviously have their point of view on the government and all these people that come into the scene, they just find all these flaws and stuff, right? Why do you think that they think that the Democratic runners are so ridiculous? They think they're a joke. They think they were a joke.
They really do.
What do you think?
I mean, I think,
try to put yourself in their perspective. Like,
well,
what
here's
do you
the thing.
think
Like,
is?
I really do. Like, my friends know I'm devil's advocate for conservative when we talk about this stuff because I keep up to date. Like, I watch Sean Crowder. I watch Ben Shapiro.
You watch
Milo.
Crowder?
I watch all of it.
I
Yeah.
watch Crowder too.
Yeah, I stay up to date.
I watch
know
Crowder.
everything.
And I think I watch him because I want to know the enemy.
Exactly.
I want to know how they think. And when I watch him, he's a troll, dude.
Well, yeah.
Crowder's a troll.
He's a troll, of course. I mean, that's the thing is, like, a lot of conservatives are trolls.
Well, so are we can go both
No,
ways.
liberals are trolls too.
Yeah.
And again, liberals, Democrats, leftists, all slightly distinct or whatever. But yeah, he's a troll. But I mean, I watch him just to keep because you know that's gonna be the talking points. That's the same comments. You're gonna see the comments on Facebook are gonna be parroting what he says.
Did you see the news today? I saw an article that said that the DNC is not going to allow Fox News to be a part of the debates
I did hear about
because they don't think that they can be unbiased.
that. Yeah.
And I was like, that is true, but at the same time, that's very undemocratic of you
Yeah.
to not allow them to be a part of the
It is.
debates.
Actually, like, I don't know the story at all because I only saw the headline.
Mm-hmm.
But when you say that, that's totally true. And I mean, CNN's not going to be unbiased either. You know?
Yeah, CNN.
No one's going to be unbiased.
Yeah,
When you
yeah.
combine them all together, that's
Yeah.
how you pit all their biases against each other.
I've been watching Al Jazeera a lot.
Yeah.
Al Jazeera is an independent news network
Yeah.
from I think they're like from Saudi or something.
Yeah.
And it's awesome to watch that because I was introduced to it by my girlfriend, and my girlfriend watches it all the time because she's really into Saudi Arabia and into the rights of Middle Eastern people.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, they tell the news, but they do it from a point of like, we're just telling you what's up.
Yeah.
We're not like taking sides.
Yeah.
We're like Fox News. They're like, oh my God, they're so stupid. I can't believe they're saying all these dumb things. You know what I mean? What the fuck is up with the news?
Yeah. Well, they're driven to generate clicks now. Now they have analytics and they know. I mean, they said that like once they started collecting analytics and clicks, they noticed that people love hate and anger, and they just turn that up to 11.
That's true.
And that's it. Like it's a feedback loop.
Well, let me ask you this question. How are you spreading love?
Spreading love.
How are you spreading love, baby?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm not doing as much as I want to, but I just like I really believe in, letting people know your own beliefs, respectfully, trying to hear them out. I like listening to people. I like learning about what they believe. Cuz like I don't even really see conservatives as the enemy or anything like that. Like I'm pretty open-minded. I want to hear See, I think that we actually have some fundamental disagreements, like people on the left and the right, that aren't even right or wrong. Like, I don't think that they qualify to be right or wrong. I think it's just you either believe one or you believe the other. And I feel like it's a game, like whoever wins, wins kind of thing.
Whoever wins, wins.
You know? I mean,
that's a hard one to accept, though.
it is.
It's hard to accept if Trump wins.
I know. Yeah, it is.
And he does all these things that are like anti-women's rights. And
Totally.
You're like, you know, half the country doesn't believe in women's rights.
Yeah.
And that's fucking crazy to me.
It's wild.
Yeah.
It's wild. And I mean, he's definitely a special exception too. He's not even really conservative. Like
Trump?
I mean, he is like he appeals to them, but he's not like a classic conservative, you know?
No, he's not.
He's even wild for them. Like at first
I just think he's a selfish asshole.
I think he's an idiot.
He's just doing it for himself.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, the Cohen testimony, like
yeah.
it was a PR stunt and they didn't expect it to go that far. I mean, that's what he says.
Why do you say that?
I mean, Cohen was his fixer, his guy who did all that business, right?
Yeah.
He lied to everyone and paid people off.
Uh-huh.
He said that it wasn't a serious, like, to become the president. It was just to get some attention and have some fun.
Yeah.
And I mean, I believe that.
You know, it's so easy to believe that Trump didn't expect to be president. He was just running for the publicity and stuff, and then he accidentally became president.
Mm-hmm.
It's so easy to believe that because I want to believe that.
Yeah.
But, you know.
I mean, he's been talking about it since like the 80s. Like, I know that. I've seen that.
Yeah.
There's the old Oprah interview of him saying he wants to be president one day. And that's fine. I don't know.
Have you, I'm sorry, I'm going to change subjects real quick.
Yeah, we can switch away from politics.
Yeah. I just saw a documentary on Netflix about flat earthers. It's called Behind the Dome.
Behind the Dome.
Behind the Dome. You haven't seen this?
I haven't seen it. Tell me
so
about it.
what do you know about flat Earth?
Well, not much. I don't know. I think it's a lot of trolls that somehow convince people, and then I think the people that are convinced perpetuate it.
Yeah.
I think it's a little mix of both.
So you got to watch this documentary because basically it's on Netflix, and it's so amazing because these people, they really do believe that this is real and that in the sky is fake, the sun is fake, the moon is fake. It's like the Truman Show to them.
Okay.
And I'd like to believe that skepticism is important.
Yeah.
It's important to, you know, think like, you know, someone's telling me something, but how can I believe them? I'm not sure if I can believe them.
Yeah.
But when it comes to simple things like space, when we have spaceships that are going to space and you see video footage and all this stuff, and then when they're just like, no, that's all fake, it's all CGI.
Yeah.
Now, some of it is CGI. When you watch a space documentary, a lot of it is CGI. But they literally just posted, NASA just posted photos of Uranus. Yeah. And I saw the photos of Uranus and I was like, these aren't real. They look fake as fuck. They look like CGI or some weird painting. And then someone was like, no, they really took that with the cameras. It's just the storms. It was one quick photo of the storm. It's one quick image. And so it just looks like a meld of like liquids and stuff and clouds.
It's wild.
But how do you prove that scientists are fucking telling you the right thing?
Well, for one, I don't. You know, because like, who am I trying to convince, right? Like a flat earther, like forget about them.
Sure.
But
for yourself.
But yeah, for me, like again, I mean, I take everything with a grain of salt because history tells us that people have been really wrong about things, even when they felt really sure about them.
Brontosaurus, for example.
Yeah. Or yeah, dinosaurs have feathers or something, right?
Yeah.
And they didn't know that.
And every year some new shit comes out and they're like, oh, actually, we were wrong about that.
Yeah.
Turns out it was this thing.
Yeah, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, you know, there's that. For the Earth thing, like, I mean, kind of makes sense that it's round, like our moon. But again, I mean, if the moon is a projection, that debunked, right? Like
have you been to the moon?
I've never been to the moon.
See, that's what I'm saying.
See, I don't know. Like, none of us
I will
know.
say the flat Earth people, they're kind of just making shit up, I feel like.
Yeah.
You know?
Oh, yeah.
There's no...
Dude, I got a story. I met someone who believed in flat Earth, but get this. They also believed in hollow Earth.
Okay. Explain.
I don't know
Hollow
how
Earth.
that Hollow Earth is. Apparently, there's like a gigantic like civilization on the inside of the
With
Earth.
lizard people.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something like that. And I mean, I feel like those two don't really, they're not compatible. But I mean, I guess maybe they are if it was a box Earth.
Yeah.
But again, what we understand about physics is that these gravitational bodies just become round over time.
Yeah.
Just
And
by their
So I
weight.
think that makes sense because let's just say you put a clay into a water or something,
Yeah.
into a boiling pot of water, and the water is boiling, so it's keeping the clay in,
Yeah.
and the clay starts rotating in the water because of the bubbles, and eventually I could see that becoming a sphere.
Yeah.
Now, not a perfect sphere, obviously, and we discovered that the Earth is not a perfect sphere. It is
Yeah.
an egg shape.
Yeah.
So that makes a lot of sense because when something kind of floats, have you ever seen those like tubes where people are like skydiving,
Yeah.
and it's like
Yeah.
they're kind of doing this like elliptical thing?
Yeah.
That is a natural progression of something going up and down
Yeah.
because of flows and stuff. So I can see how the Earth would be
Yeah.
an egg shape,
Yeah.
not necessarily a perfect dome.
Totally.
I just don't understand how it would be perfectly flat.
It doesn't make any sense.
know.
It doesn't add up. And I mean, most people just laugh at flat earthers like they probably should.
I cannot prove
Yeah.
for the life of me whether or not any of this shit is real
Yeah.
because I'm not a scientist. I am not a person who knows how to prove these things, but I do know what it's like on a simple level when you put clay between your hands and you do this.
Yeah.
It becomes,
Yeah.
and if you think about how they explain gravity,
Yeah.
it's these forces that are all kind of,
Yeah.
and so I can see that.
Yeah.
So I just don't understand how a flat Earth, or like people will say, "Oh, we're riding on a turtle's back" and all that crazy shit.
Yeah.
It's just crazy to me.
They don't even understand.
No, I don't.
They're
Do you
just bored.
Do you believe in aliens?
Oh, totally.
Yeah?
I mean, I don't think there's any good videos out there. I used to.
Right.
Like, I've been a lifelong.
Have you ever seen anything now?
No.
No. Me neither.
Okay.
I've never seen an alien or any sort of thing.
Yeah.
But I have talked to a lot of people, and there are people who I don't know why they would lie, maybe for like just the attention of the story at the moment, but they've told me stories
Yeah.
and I'm like, dude, that's fucking seems real. Now, whether or not they're aliens or they could be like government run spaceships or whatever, like the government made it. I've never seen something with my own eyes, but I've heard a lot of stories.
Yeah. No. Okay. So there was one thing that I saw, but then I saw it again a couple times, and I don't know if that validated it or made it seem like it was something else. Like, if it comes back a few times, maybe it's just, I don't know. But it was weird. Like, I saw some weird lights that flew overhead and then went over the ocean and just hovered there. I even called a friend, and he drove down from Costa Mesa to Huntington, and we like ran around and chased it, and like it did seem like something at the time. But we were also UFO hunter hopefuls, so it's easy to believe it when you want it so bad.
What happened?
Well, like, in my memory, it did fly right overhead. It made a weird humming sound, and it almost seemed like a blimp. But the way it flew overhead, like, it seemed really low, really quiet. It just like whistled, kind of like So that was weird. And then it went over the ocean and just stayed over the ocean for a while. And we watched it.
Where was this?
It was in Huntington Beach. Yeah.
So I talked to another guest, and they said that Seal Beach, or that whole area, is a hotbed for aliens. And they said, I know this is crazy, dude.
Yeah.
But they said that in that area, in Redondo, I think it was Redondo Beach, there's an underground water base where they test out ships and stuff.
Okay.
And a lot of people have seen them.
See that? I mean, it could be that too. Like I said, I saw it like 2 times at least. Right? I saw it again one time from my bedroom. I saw the same thing just over the ocean. So like one time it flew like directly overhead and then went down to the ocean. And then another time I just saw it over the ocean. So could have been some kind of weird experimental aircraft.
What's crazy about that is, like, let's just say it is an experimental aircraft. What's crazy about it is that they do it in public. They do it like on the edge of the ocean.
Yeah.
And so why would they do that? Like, why would they do that on the edge of the ocean and so people can see it and document it?
Yeah. Well, maybe they want to know how many people see it. Maybe they're testing its stealthiness.
Okay.
Perhaps.
Sure.
Who knows? You know?
Yeah, it's a possibility.
Maybe they just know that they can just come up with something and they don't care.
Yeah. Maybe they don't care if people put it out there online.
Yeah. And maybe it's extraterrestrials.
But I've seen a lot of footage online, man. There's this channel called Secure Team 10.
Secure Team 10?
Have you heard of that?
No.
No, this is a great channel. And this guy, his name's Tyler. And he's like, "What's up, guys? My name's Tyler. I'm going to talk about some spaceships or whatever." He has like a lispy voice.
Yeah.
It's pretty funny. And so he shows footage of like these triangular shaped ships.
Okay.
And he shows footage of these other types of shaped ships. And sometimes he'll post a video and he'll say, "This is a ship, but we actually know this kind of ship. We've researched this kind of thing. This is actually a government-run ship.
Yeah.
Now, this one over here on this footage, this is an alien one, but this
Yeah.
one's a government one." And it leads me to think like maybe because he's seen it so much, he knows the difference between like government-run and like alien ships. But at the same time,
There's a lot of documents out there.
I don't know the documents.
They are, dude. I've gotten into them.
Uh-huh.
I mean, you don't even know if they're real or not, but
Yeah.
there are documents out there.
Uh-huh.
They're like databases that people have compiled of the different types of aliens.
Yeah,
There's
but
like
all
grays,
that shit could
greens.
be fake, though. That's
Of course,
the
it could be
problem.
fake. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's there. Like if you're a ufologist and you want to get into it,
Yeah.
there's information. We just
Uh-huh.
don't know if it's real or not.
Yeah.
There's-
Also, UFO doesn't mean that it's from space. It just means
doesn't.
like you don't know where it came from.
Could come from anywhere.
Yeah. What do you think about Tom DeLonge?
Oh man, I was rooting for him, man.
Yeah, I was too.
I was like, heck yeah, dude, do your thing, like figure it out. But dude, the Joe Rogan podcast, did you see that?
Mm-hmm.
That was bad, man.
Yeah, it was
that was
bad.
uncomfortable. And when I saw him believe those fake ass videos, that was very disappointing.
You know what's weird is like I want to believe I do, like the X-Files says, I want to believe. But at the same time, when these actors, that's what I think Tom DeLonge is, dude. I think he's an actor.
Really?
I think the CIA hired him to expose aliens
to look like a fool.
To look like a fool. Yeah.
That's too bad. I mean, I don't know. I'm waiting for him to drop something.
Yeah.
Drop something convincing and good.
Yeah.
You know?
It hasn't happened yet.
You have like what is it, that Academy for the Stars or whatever?
Right.
Like, to the Stars Academy, do it.
Yeah.
Well, where's that technology, that crazy technology he's supposed
When
to
he was
drop?
talking about making a spaceship that travels through red light,
Yeah.
and then it like can travel through time and space
Yeah.
and all this stuff.
Let's see it.
Yeah.
I'm
It's
ready.
crazy. Are you a religious guy
No.
now?
No.
How do you feel about spiritualism and stuff like that?
Well, you know, I think a lot of it is marketing. You know, a lot of what we see now that's spiritual stuff is just marketing, selling something, right? If there's a product attached to it, I'm very skeptical of it. Crystals.
Absolutely. But I guess what I'm trying to say is like, okay, I grew up in the Catholic Church or whatever.
Yeah.
And I never really believed that. And mostly because people are so flawed.
Mm-hmm.
But then when I grew up, I started to believe in something called VIN Dontoh, which is like the blanket theory, which is basically like we are all the same particles. We are made of the same stuff. And eventually when we die, or when our brains die, our molecules go back into reality.
They do.
Yeah. And that's
gotta go somewhere.
That's much more beautiful to me because it's not about like going to heaven or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Heaven is literally turning back into the earth.
Yeah.
And I think that's fucking dope.
I mean, it literally happens though. Like you will disintegrate.
Yeah.
And turn and just reintegrate into the universe.
Right. And I don't know about consciousness. If my consciousness will go back with me or whatever.
Yeah.
I think that's a little crazy. Have you ever seen a show on Netflix, The Umbrella Academy?
I've heard of it because I'm a fan of Gerard Way.
Oh, Gerard Way.
I mean,
from
MCR.
MCR, yeah.
Totally.
You a big MCR fan?
I mean, I love MCR. I grew up in emo, so.
When I was growing up, I thought he was so cheeseball, dude. I was like not into it. Really? But now when I look back and I look at Black Parade, I'm like, awesome. Those songs were fucking dope, dude.
I'm Not Okay. That shit was tight.
How does that one go? I don't remember that one.
I'm not okay.
I don't remember that one.
Really?
Yeah, I don't.
Okay. Well, That's awesome. That's before Black Parade. Really good. 3 Cheers for Sweet Revenge or something.
Remember Helena?
Yeah,
Remember
Helena.
that one?
That's
Yeah.
a good one. The Ghost Inside, I think, is what it's called too, or Ghost or something like that.
But
Ghost
yeah,
of You.
that fucking song was dope. Black Parade. I remember that was like the first one where I actually kind of was like, this song's pretty cool because I kind of remember Queen a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit of Queen in there.
Oh yeah.
And
Stadium emo.
years later, he got into like comic books.
Yeah.
And not that he wasn't into comic books,
Yeah.
but he got into like writing comic books.
Yeah.
And then he wrote Umbrella Academy, and then it became a Netflix show.
Yeah, I heard about that.
And then now it's on Netflix and it's very popular. And I watched it and I really much enjoyed it.
Nice.
And in the show, spoiler alert for anyone
Spoiler.
who hasn't seen the show. But have you seen the show?
I haven't seen it.
Oh, fuck. I can't talk about it then.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because I don't want to ruin it for you. You
Okay.
should go watch it.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I might check it out.
At the end of the show, I think they got signed up for a second season. So I don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah.
But at the end of the show, I feel like they left it open to a point where it's like a looper type situation.
Mm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they might somehow go back to the beginning and it just starts over again. But I don't know if that's true. And I feel like life is very
cyclical.
Cyclical, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, definitely. Like,
Do you remember The Matrix?
oh yeah.
So in the end of The Matrix, there's the guy in that room with all the TVs,
Mm-hmm.
and he's like, "There's been many Matrixes, and every time the Neo comes to the room and realizes what the Matrix is, he has decided to either one of two things: reset the Matrix so that it starts over again."
Yeah.
So that maybe we can try something a little
Mhm.
different. But this time, in The Matrix, the movie, he decides to abandon all of that
Yeah.
and to say, fuck this shit. I'm not going to I'm going to start a whole new timeline.
Yeah.
And I think it's fucking dope.
Yeah. The Matrix is sick.
It's so instead of starting The Matrix over again, he creates a whole new fucking reality. And am I making any sense right now?
I mean, I'm following.
Okay.
Stan.
So then when Neo fights the Mr. Smith character,
Yeah.
they don't reset the Matrix. They start a new Matrix, but they put this little girl in charge, this little Indian girl. Do you remember the little Indian girl?
Yeah.
She was in the train station.
Yeah.
They put her in charge, and she was supposed to be the embodiment of love because her parents were two computer programs that somehow discovered love.
Oh.
And had a child together, and they were hiding the child, and that's why they were stuck in that weird little train station thing. They couldn't get out.
Yeah. Yeah.
And Neo got them out. And the whole point is like love conquered all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It does.
It was.
It's
yeah.
That's the most powerful thing. Like,
Love.
I mean, dude, the Beatles said it. The Beatles are right. Yeah.
Yeah. So we're gonna close the show
All right.
because we're over 48 minutes.
48 minutes. Wow.
Thank you guys for watching. We're going to ask 2 more questions, and then we're going to move on. So, don't ask what kind of music. Cooper,
Yeah.
why don't you tell us where we can find your music?
So Spotify, Apple Music, Tidal, anywhere where you stream music, you can find me. Just look up Don't Ask What Kind of Music. It's easy to find. Make sure to use the apostrophe because I think it doesn't show up on Apple Music if you don't, which is weird. It's pretty lame. But yeah, so Apple, anywhere you stream, you can find me. Or you can find me on Instagram at Don't Ask What Kind of Music. Do that. And YouTube. I like my YouTube channel. Don't Ask What Kind of Music on YouTube.
Thanks for following. If you're watching the podcast, I really appreciate it. Make sure to follow Don't Ask What Kind of Music. Follow us on Instagram at BundyLBC. And if you like what we do, share, like, sub, all that stuff. That's good stuff. That's going to really help us out. Also, I apologize because I've been drinking since like 4 in the fucking afternoon. So, last 2 questions. Ready?
Yeah.
First question is musicians' horror stories. Shows that you've played or shows that you've been to where some crazy shit has happened. Do you have any crazy stories?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Let's
Green
hear 'em.
Turtle, Whittier.
Okay.
Was supposed to play with the Wonder Years. Awesome pop punk band from like the East Coast, right? So they drove all the way here. Pop punk band. I was in a pop punk band at the time. Played a few songs. We ended with a Ceremony cover. I don't know if you know the band Ceremony.
Yeah.
Hardcore band.
Mm-hmm.
Played a hardcore set. Got everyone moshing. Got everyone riled up, right? I like to blame us for this. Next band goes on. Fight breaks out. My friend's face gets stomped. Like stomped.
Like he fell on the floor and he got
Yeah,
stomped?
he's getting his face stomped.
Fuck.
I wasn't inside for this. Fight goes outside. I'm talking amps being thrown. Helicopters showed up. A riot breaks out.
Jesus Christ.
Dude, I'm talking zip ties, handcuffs. Like, not enough handcuffs for all the people they were arresting. Literally, I saw an amplifier get thrown over a fence.
Jesus.
I saw trash cans getting thrown. I saw people hanging off of
was
the
like a
staircase.
riot.
It was a riot, dog.
Wow.
There were helicopters. There was a helicopter
Uh-huh.
right there flying right over us in this Whittier, too, right?
Where were you this whole time?
I was outside. Luckily, I went outside.
Uh-huh.
And it turns out I was fucking making fun of the people who started the riot, who really picked it up, because there was some crew there. Again, this was like when pop punk still had a big hardcore following, so there was crossover. That was the wildest situation we've ever. There's a YouTube video of me and all the friends hanging out right before that show too. But yeah, that was the wildest thing. The band didn't even get to play. The headliner didn't even get to play because the whole thing got shut down. Like
Wow.
it was bad.
That sounds like a good show.
It was fun. It was really
Sounds
fun.
pretty extreme.
But yeah, it was wild.
I want to give a shout out to Miguel. Cut to that camera, Miguel.
There's no camera, but.
Oh, yeah. Sorry. We had to. But anyways, shout out to Miguel from Sounds Like Disco for doing the video and for helping us out with tonight. And if you want to catch their band, find them at Sounds Like Disco on Instagram.
Yeah, do that.
And last question of the night.
Yeah.
Musicians' advice. Something that you can give to a musician, whether it be practical, like
Yeah.
bring extra cables, bring an
Mhm.
extra pair of strings or something simple as that.
Mm-hmm.
Or it can be inspirational,
Yeah.
like, follow your dreams or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah.
What do you have that you have learned in your career
Yeah.
that you can give to somebody else?
I have something that I love to share with people whenever I can. Try to have something that you can do today that will really make you feel like you can accomplish something. Like just at the beginning of the day, pick something that you can finish today that will be an accomplishment. And also pick something long-term that you want to work on. So you can think a little bit about right now and think a little bit about the future. I really like to check two things off, one step in a big project and one little project completed every day.
That's a good piece of advice. One step at a time.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks for watching. If you like what we do, find us on Bundy LBC. Like, share, subscribe, all that good shit. Also, if you want to help support with monetary gains, as little as $2 a month, we have a Patreon at patreon.com/BundyLBC. Thank you so much. Miguel, hit that button. Good night.
Good night.